Hey, good to see you again. Today we're going to look at our family's recent 3.5-week trip to Tokyo, China, and London. And we're going to look into the experiences that we had and how we made them happen, and really the whole benefit of this trip, which was building great memories for our kids. Let's go. We did plan 1 to 2 main things in each city that we went to that required purchasing tickets in advance. And so this gave us something special to look forward to, but also let us budget for each city by knowing, how much things would cost and what we could really afford to do. And there were definitely some things that I looked at the price on and said, you know what, unfortunately, no, this is going to be too expensive. We can't do it. And honestly, I don't even remember what those things were at this point because it didn't matter. We had, the things that we did do were so great that it worked out perfectly. So in Tokyo, the day after we landed in Tokyo, we did Tokyo DisneySea, which, based on my research, is one of the most unique Disney parks that there is. And it was a blast. The weather was great. We got there about 90 minutes before the park opened and waited in line, and it was very organized and an orderly line, and everybody was just having a good time. And then we stayed at the park until almost 6 p.m. and the kids were great. I think we each had 20,000 plus steps that day. It was a pretty amazing experience, and I think the kids really liked it. We also did in Tokyo, and if you're ever in Tokyo, I highly recommend this. We went to Team Labs. And Team Labs has 2 locations. One is called Borderless, one is called Planets. We went to Borderless, and it was incredible. It's like a digital art museum that's interactive and has hidden rooms that you have to discover and all these unique exhibits. And you can see here, the stuff is wild. That was a really fun experience. In China, like I said, we went to 7 different cities. So after landing in Beijing, and then going to my wife's hometown, we then went to Chengdu, which is the home of the pandas. So all the pandas around the world come from Chengdu, which is where China's Panda Research Base is. This is the most amazing zoo that you've ever been to, except it's a zoo just for pandas. They have over 250 pandas there. We saw 39 giant pandas and a red panda. Is more I've only ever seen 2 pandas in a zoo, and they were both just sitting there eating bamboo. These pandas were active and playing, and to see so many of them, and it was in this wild habitat that was in the valley of a mountain. So you start, the entrance is at the top of one side of the valley, and you have to go down through the valley and then come back up on the other side and over the top of the mountain, and it's all panda habitat. It's an incredible location. If you're ever in China and near Chengdu, I highly recommend it. It was really fun. The kids had a great time. It was a lot of walking, but they also have a shuttle system that you can pay for to get to the locations more quickly. I used to live in China, and one of the things that I always wanted to do was go to one of their national parks, which is called Zhoujiaigou. And it is one of the most epic places you can go to, and really it's like scenes from a movie, quite literally. Hero is one of my favorite movies ever by director Zhang Yimou, and this scene from the movie was filmed at Zhoujiaigou, and to be there and see where they filmed this and to see that it's literally just as beautiful as it is in the movie was incredible. I mean, it is just one epic location after another. There's a large shuttle bus that takes you from the entrance up into the park, winding through the mountains. And we came around this one corner to this lake that was just this miraculous shade of green. And the whole bus all at once just went, oh! It was really incredible to see and be there in person. Really, really beautiful. And nearby to that is another place called Huang or Yellow Dragon. It is also, it's like a national preserve. And it was actually the highest elevation that we got to. It was over almost 12,000 feet. And it has these like cascading pools that are incredible shades of blue, as you can see here. You know, this was actually the first place that we all kind of needed to start taking oxygen while we were walking up to it. It was really a great experience to have to go up somewhere so high and to see something so beautiful. From Chengdu, we worked our way back up in China to Xi'an, and this is the home of the famous Terracotta warriors. Now, I've always wanted to see the Terracotta warriors, but like I've seen pictures of them so many times that I don't know, I wasn't that excited about it. Like, I thought it would be cool to see, but I didn't really think it would be anything more than what I'd already seen in pictures, and man, was I wrong. Now, the main building, where you've probably seen, you know, the most famous pictures from, was incredibly crowded. Like, it was one of the most squished groups of people that I think I've ever been in, but it was amazing to see these. And what I didn't realize is that only a small percentage, like single-digit percentage, of the entire Terracotta kingdom that was created has been unearthed. The emperor had this kingdom built that was sort of representative of his imperial palace, and it takes up what they think is about 38 square miles or 98 square kilometers. And so only a small amount of it has been uncovered. And basically, China is waiting to develop more advanced technology before they unearth more of it. Because what they found is that as they unearth it, it actually damages the lacquer that's on the exterior of the soldiers and the horses and everything that's there. And that lacquer and then the paint sort of disintegrates within hours. And so they're biding their time to develop better technology to be able to archaeologically unearth the rest of the kingdom. But it is really incredible. And then from Xi'an, we eventually worked our way over to Qinhuangdao. This is where my wife and I met. It's the city we got married in. It's also the origin of the Great Wall. The Great Wall actually ends or begins in the ocean in Qinhuangdao. So one of the things we did in Qinhuangdao was to go to the Great Wall. We actually went to two different locations. One to what's called La Longtou, or Old Dragon Head, which is where the Great Wall ends in the sea. And then we went to another place called Jiaoshan, which is not too far from there, but is more of what you might think of as the Great Wall. And man, there is nothing like standing on a wall that stretches 13,000 miles in length and contemplating the effort that it took to build it. You know, and I've been there before, and being there again was still just as captivating. And the kids, I think, were really kind of wide-eyed as to what it was and the scale of it. After China, we flew to London, and the big thing that we did in London was the Warner Brothers Harry Potter studio tour. The kids are into Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, and you know, nerding out and appreciating the film skills and techniques and efforts that it took to create such captivating movies was really neat. To see the real sets and the real set pieces and techniques and sort of the behind-the-scenes stuff was really cool. I think everybody really enjoyed it a lot. You know, we had some butterbeer halfway through, and the kids, I think, had a really good time. Now, those are the things that we paid for, but really on this trip, we prioritized free or inexpensive experiences. Things like parks. We did lots of parks, especially in London, museums, and just generally exploring, you know, walking around. Like, we would always kind of have a general we're going to go from here to here, but a lot of times we would just walk and see things along the way and take our time. We also used public transit a lot. In Tokyo, we used the trains, the subways a lot. In China, we used subways a little bit. Like I said, we mostly used taxis because our group was kind of big and it was just easier to move around that way. But in London, we used the underground, the above ground, and buses also. And yeah, we got to use the double-decker buses, and the kids loved that, you know, always wanting to go up to the second story of the bus. It was definitely fun and enjoyable. And it was super easy. All the transit in Tokyo and London was super easy. Everything we did was just tap to pay. And so my wife and I just set credit cards as our express transit cards, and we would just tap them, and that was it. It was done. Now, food. We obviously ate out a lot, but our plan was to be as disciplined as possible, so we did not eat at lavish or fancy places. We tried to eat out at most 2 times a day, and the rest of the time we would, you know, purchase things from like a grocery store or a convenience store that were more affordable. I mean, once or twice we got instant noodles, and like, it was fine. We would just take them back to the hotel and eat there. Like, it seriously controlled our expenses, and it was a fun experience. Now, the cost of food didn't matter so much in China, as everything is so much more affordable there. For example, we went to this restaurant for a family dinner near my wife's hometown, in the county nearby. And as you can see, this table is huge. We put 30 people around this table that included a motorized Lazy Susan with this little village in the middle of it. And so for the entire time, there is a Lazy Susan spinning filled with food. The entire meal for 30 people cost $200. It was quite an experience, and the food was, of course, amazing, but man, it was so much cheaper in China than the US, and especially London. I mean, London was like eye-opening, shocking as to how expensive food was, and even a simple meal could be. And then, of course, our miscellaneous purchases like souvenirs or gifts, we limited those. Now, we always get a family magnet in each new place we go to, but I mean, that's pretty inexpensive. But otherwise, we just got a few gifts for family and friends, but nothing major. We did have to buy a new carry-on suitcase halfway through our trip because we bought a lot of new clothes in China. But that was really okay. We did also have to buy a brand new checked bag because 3 of the wheels on our checked bag all died at the same time. And that was fun, trying to pull, move that bag through the train station, but hey, what are you gonna do? The bag that we have now is amazing though. The wheels are like butter. So yes, it is possible to make this happen. Was it dirt cheap? No, it wasn't. But was it worth it? And was it affordable for us? 1,000,000 times yes. Our kids had the most unique and diverse experiences of their lives probably so far. Okay, they saw some of the most beautiful places and witnessed in person some of the most amazing feats of humanity. They got to connect more with family that we don't get to see very often. And they developed what we hope are good core memories. What's been your favorite travel experience? Where have you gone? What have you done? And how did you make it happen? I'll see you next time.